In order to start saving data with Mongoose, we need to set up that bit of structure I mentioned earlier, which is a model and a schema for our message object. At the top of our script, let's create the message model. So above our messages array, on line 14, let's add a few lines. We'll create a message variable, and we'll use a capital M to indicate that it's a model, and we'll set it to mongoose.model. And for the first parameter, we'll specify what we call it, which is message, and then we'll pass in our schema definition, which will be an object with the properties. First being name, which will be of type string, then our message property, which will be of type string as well. Let's save that. Now that we have a model, let's create an object based on that model. Let's go down to our post message function and create that. So on line 28, at the top, let's add var message equals new message, and we'll pass in request.body since it contains our message definition. Next, let's save it to MongoDB. We will use message.save, and we can pass in a callback that takes an error in case it failed. If there's an error, let's send a status of 500, which is a server error. If there is no error, let's move the rest of the functionality into the save success block. And so now only if the message was successfully saved to the database, we will then emit a socket.io event, and then we'll send a status of 200. And I'll leave our message.push for now until we've completely replaced it with our MongoDB. Now let's send a message from our app and then check mlab for a new message collection. So I've saved the changes. Let's go to our app and then add a new message. Now let's check mlab and refresh our collections. And we can see a new collection. Let's click on that. Inside we can see a new record with the name Lisa and the message hi. So we know it's working. Finally, let's update our app so that it no longer uses the message array. So let's take out line 35 in our app.post. And then on line 25, instead of sending our messages array, we'll send our messages from MongoDB. So above our response.send, we'll add message.find, and we want to select all of the messages so we won't pass in any requirements. And so I'm passing in an empty object. Then we'll create a callback that takes an error and all of the messages it finds. Inside, let's copy our response.send messages and paste it. Now let's get rid of our messages array. If we save this and then give it a try in our app, we refresh and we can see the first message we added to our MongoDB database. Let's add another. We can see it instantly shows up because of socket.io, and if we refresh, it shows up again because of MongoDB. Next, let's take a look at some of the newer features of JavaScript which Node now uses.